What are the top 5 development mistakes that new franchisors make when they franchise their business? So if you're about to franchise, you need to avoid these. And if you've already franchised and made these mistakes, they need to be corrected. Coming up next. This is our top 5 list, and this is a list of development mistakes that we need to avoid, that you need to avoid when you franchise your business. And guys, this comes from real world experience, real world phone calls that we receive at our firm weekly from individuals, entrepreneurs. They franchise their business, whether 3 years ago or 3 months ago. They're not gaining traction. They feel like they wasted dollars. They feel like they've been misdirected, and they don't understand what it's going to take to succeed as a franchisor. Well, when we look under the hood and we're given advice on how to get everything on track, what I'm about to share are the top 5 mistakes that we see. And starting off with number 5, and this is a basic, so we won't go through it in too much detail. It's you weren't ready to franchise your business. If you're thinking about franchising, we have some great videos where you could assess if your business is ready. And most important, if you as a founder, if you're ready, if franchising aligns with your goals. So mistake number 5, you weren't ready to franchise. And I have conversations with individuals who come back to us and say, hey, Charles, we spoke a year ago. You said, don't franchise my business yet. Focus on my trademarks, focus on my systems, focus on my capitalization. And it's a year later and I'm ready to go. And I love those conversations. And we speak to other new franchisors or entrepreneurs, and everything does align: capitalization, positioning, expectations. So when you're evaluating if you're ready to franchise, it's not just about your business, it's also about you as a founder. Does franchising align with your 5-year goals? We got some great resources on that. And that's the number 5 mistake that we see. Number 4, you franchise your business with the wrong expectations and wrong strategy. And here I'm going to put blame on the franchise developers or teams that these new franchisors work with out of the gate. Why? Because too many franchise developers, too many companies treat franchising as the end result, as if you pay them money, you go through a franchise development process, maybe they're producing some marketing for you or generating a website and having what they claim to be their attorneys preparing the FDD, but they're training and teaching you as a new franchisor that the goal is to franchise your business, to issue your FDD. And the mistake here is that it's not the goal. Franchising your business, preparing your FDD, preparing your operations manual, developing your brand positioning, having your franchise sales website. When that's all done, that's the starting point. That's where we're just getting started. We just become a franchisor. And so many people sell new franchisors on that package without fully sharing with them what their expectations should be. That franchise sales are not going to be easy. And also a strategy focused on long term. So now you've become a new franchisor. The strategy over the next 12 months should be seasoning your franchise offering. And what do I mean? You become a new franchisor. When we're working with our clients on that process, it's about a 90 to 120 day process for franchising a business. While we're developing the FDD and brand positioning and getting everything ready, one of our biggest tasks is helping our clients understand the path ahead, a 5-year plan, and most important, what are the steps to take over the next 12 months to season your franchise offering, to build interest organically from people that know you, that are on your social, that know your brand, and maybe the 1, 2, 3, or 4 pioneering franchisees over the next 12 to 24 months to build around and to onboard. And during this seasoning process, a step that so many, I would say 95% of new franchisors make a misstep, is they don't develop deeply into their brand positioning, founder story, founder videos, all assets that you're going to need to make your franchise offering compelling. So mistake number 4, you have the wrong expectations. You think you're going to franchise your business and just start selling franchises. And most of the time, it doesn't happen that way. And not only is it the wrong expectation, you don't have the right strategy. Franchising your business is a means to an end. Now we become a franchisor. Let's focus on the next 12 months, seasoning your brand, building your brand story, and creating organic traction, organic sales, where we cost effectively spend dollars. We leverage your brand story. We leverage your founder story. For our clients, we have an amazing workshop on this point. So number 4, You had the wrong expectations and strategy. And for people who've already franchised their business, the most difficult situation that I see is then they go another year or two and they haven't built the right base or foundation. They started off wrong and they've gone in the wrong direction. Mistake number 3, it's big. Your FDD and compliance is wrong. It's just wrong. And there's legal reasons why it's wrong, and there's franchise development, meaning reasons that are going to impact your sales, wrong. We develop FDDs legally from a franchise development perspective. If you're out there evaluating franchising your business and working with a company, if someone tells you they offer a complete package and they do your marketing and your sales, and they even have their own legal team, be on alert. We have videos about it. Too many companies, they're not lawyers and they're trying to sell you on FDDs that are not legally compliant. So mistake number 3, your FDD is wrong, your franchise compliance is wrong. And what are some examples? Well, number 1, you're not legally protected. But I won't get into detail about the legal. That's kind of boring. But examples where your compliance is wrong, that's going to hurt your sales. And we see franchisors that come to us and say, Charles, what you're saying makes sense. Our territory structure doesn't work, or we don't have a scalable offering, or our item 19 doesn't work. Why didn't someone else tell us this? And I don't know why. But examples of when you have your FDD is wrong or your compliance is wrong, you may have the wrong structure. So if you're a service-based business, a lot of times we see service-based businesses which need to be built as multi-territory offerings, built as if they're a restaurant or a brick and mortar shop. Or if you're a retail business, you don't have the right structure in your FDD, you don't have the right item 19 or multi-unit development opportunities. These are big. Financials, even basic things. We'll see franchisors come to us, and one situation, they're like, Charles, it's been great. I sold 20 franchises. And then when we look at the FDD, they weren't compliant. And sometimes the reason why they're not compliant, no one told them that in their FDD, they needed to include audited financials, meaning they worked with a franchise developer that said their lawyer reviewed it, who didn't. So a mistake is you don't have the right financials. You don't have the right structure. A big one is the item 19 is hurting you. I've seen new franchisors come to me, say they're a retail or restaurant. They have an item 19 financial performance representation, talks about just gross sales, or shows a full P&L with a loss without adjustments, or is a service business that just has gross sales, but no deep dive data, no KPIs. So the point where the compliance is wrong and the FDD is wrong, when brokers look at the FDD or when a buyer looks at the FDD and compares it to competition, the territory structures seem off. There may not be the right financials, which could jeopardize the whole transaction. The item 19 is hurting sales, not helping, or it's creating legal liability. Other examples, registrations are off track, or the FDD is not multi-state compliant. It's not ready to register and file in registration states like California, New York, Maryland, Virginia, Illinois. So mistake number 3, your FDD compliance, it's wrong. And it's wrong legally, and it's also wrong from a franchise sales perspective. That's mistake number 3. Mistake number 2, you don't have the right capital. And when a franchise developer or company wants to sell you on the concept of franchising, they don't want you to think about the long-term capital you'll need. All they want you to do is think about how much money you have to pay them and their package of services. Some of them will even offer to finance your franchise development fees or offer a very inexpensive, and we see this all the time. I received a call and it was like, Charles, I worked with a development company. They financed my fees. It was inexpensive. I'm on your YouTube channel and some of the mistakes you're saying, we're experiencing that. And we're having a hard time with sales. Well, it's because the developer or you as a new franchisor, you're not evaluating your capital. Now, it's not to say you need millions of dollars. You don't. I mean, we have clients that with the right franchise growth strategy, again, a mistake we discussed earlier, they grow organically. They grow at a good pace, right? Our focus is let's issue your FDD for the next 12 months. Let's focus on organic growth. People that know you, people that know your brand. Let's lean in on your brand story. Let's make your franchise offering compelling from an FDD standpoint, from a website standpoint, your video, your stories. And when we do that, and when we focus on organic contacts, meaning people that you broadcast an email and let the world know that we're selling franchises, those couple of pioneering franchisees, we want to onboard them. We want to make them successful, have them validate. And then years 3, 4, and up, we're going to focus on scaling. Year 2, we'll focus on some marketing. So capitalization really has to do with the plan. Franchising, I've seen people, new franchisors come to me and say, Charles, I spent 100,000. I have others who spend 20,000 or 10,000. And sometimes the results are bad on both ends. So you need the right capital. You need to be working with the right team. You need your lawyer to represent you. If a franchise developer tells you they have in-house counsel, I'm going to challenge and tell you you should run away. But so focus on what you're going to spend to franchise your business. If you check out our website, you're going to see we have our franchise launch program. We as a law firm can provide legal, but also as franchise development experts, we combine in some great services on the franchise development. Not having the right capital. Well, it's all going to depend on expectations, right? Mistake we discussed earlier. What's our goal after we become a franchisor? If over the next 12 months, it's to organically attract our first 1 or 2 franchisees, people that know us, then we want to spend money on your franchise sales website. We want to spend money getting a videographer to record your founder and brand story. We want to build up a very compelling franchise offering, your materials, your FDD, onboard those first few franchisees. Now, a mistake that we see is new franchisors come in, they pay a marketing company in the franchising space a monthly dollar amount, say $2,000 a month to get leads, or they use portals, or they go to expos when it's just too early for them. They waste dollars and time. Maybe they'll get some leads, but it's going to turn out they're not good leads. I mean, think about it. You're a brand new franchisor. You want to season your offering. It's very hard and expensive just to broadcast broadly and spend money on pay-per-click ads and all these other things and compete in a bigger marketplace. So you're going to be spending dollars. So I want you to focus on capitalization in the next 12 months or as we're becoming a franchisor. Well, in the beginning, we're going to develop your FDD, your trademarks, right? Your franchise development. You want to spend money? Maybe it's on a franchise sales webpage or a franchise sales website. We want to spend money doing a deep dive into your brand. We want a genuine brand story. So many franchise sales websites I see, it's all generic. I don't know who the founder is. There's nothing compelling. People need to connect with you as a founder and a new franchisor. That's what's going to get your first couple of sales. So we have a great branding workshop. We want to focus on that. Down the line, we want to start building broker relations and then slowly start rolling out performance-based marketing. So you don't have the right capital. It's a function of also not having the right plan. If your goal is sell 100 franchises out of the gate or 50 or 20, well, then you're going to need a good amount of money. But if it's to grow organically, we could scale this. But before you jump to spending money on conferences, expos, paid marketing, let's do a deep dive. Let's make your brand unassailable and special. Let's do it with brand story. Let's do it with video. Let's do it with great copy, not the generic nonsense out there. Number one mistake, and I don't know if this is a cop-out, because it's really a combination of everything. Your franchise is not built to win. It's funny, when I see franchise websites out there, they'll list hundreds of logos of brands they claim that they developed or franchised, and maybe they did work with them. But the story behind that is so many times they don't succeed and they need to reboot. And we see it every day. We work with so many brands to reboot and brands that we've rebooted years ago that have now sold out to equity. But you need to be built to win. And what does that mean? That means you need to focus on the win on a 5-year time horizon. You need a 5-year game plan. 90 to 120 days, we become a franchisor. Over the next 12 months, look at that as your launch period. We want to season your franchise offering. Don't jump to the marketing or the indiscriminate spending. Let's go deep into your core values, into your brand, into the differentiators of your franchise offering, transformation we offer our franchisees, and then let's connect with the people that know you, know your brand, experience your product services. Let's get your first number of pioneering franchisees and then build around them, support them, over support them. So we want to develop. Next 12 months, we want to season your franchise offering, your brand, onboard pioneering franchisees. And then years 3 to 5, we'll focus on scaling and growing. Hopefully we have great validation from your pioneering franchisees. And even better, item 19, we've made broker introductions, we've gone to conferences, and now years 3 to 5, we could focus on hitting the accelerator, spending dollars effectively on marketing and an overall plan. So at year 5, we do win, right? And what does winning mean? It means we have a franchise system with whether it's 5, 10, 20, 50 franchisees that are achieving solid unit economics. They're doing well. They're succeeding. So as they succeed, we're generating good revenue in terms of royalties, but we're also attracting more franchisees. We're attracting private equity, and we're building to win. So those are the top 5. And hopefully, whether you make these mistakes or you don't make them, these are all fundamentals that we should be focused on all the time.